Holy, whoo, oh my God. This man, Alex Pereira, come on. Just when you thought the card was getting a little boring, I know Diego Lopez and Dan Ige with the big old balls on him. I know they saved the day, but my gosh, Alex Pereira, what is you doing? That wasn't even a close fight. Jiri Prochazka is an absolute dog. I mean, this is insane. I mean, my goodness, this man, Alex Pereira, if I didn't already slurp him up enough this week, I'm about to go even more some here. I mean, my goodness, you can't help but just absolutely love everything this man's doing. I don't care who you are. You cannot hate on this guy. Even Israel Adesanya likes the guy deep down. We know that, like... we don't even need to explain what this man has done already in 8 UFC fights. How many champions has he beat, former champions, and then doing it again? I mean, oh my goodness, give him the heavyweight shot. Give him the heavyweight shot. What else? This man, I don't know. I can name 2 off the top of my maybe 4, I guess, realistically, off the top of my head, where somebody's in the octagon in MMA, and you know for a fact this person is just special. John Jones comes to mind every time that man performed. I just expect him to absolutely murder people. He just was untouchable. Conor McGregor during his run. I mean, you can name Khabib. I mean, who else? Amanda Nunes, maybe. Ronda Rousey, I guess, there for a little bit if you believed in all of that. I mean... This man, Alex Pereira, Potan, at 37 years old, doing what he's doing right now after such a long kickboxing career. Like, I mean, my goodness, this is why we love MMA. This is why we love fight. Not only did Conor McGregor, I mean, you could tell throughout the night that this wasn't a Conor McGregor night, but as soon as these two stepped inside that octagon, facing off with each other, I didn't even think they could recreate that face-off, and they might have done it better this time around. Like, no other fighter or 2 other fighters are saving the day after a Conor McGregor fight like we just saw. Alex Potan, Pereira, Jiri Prochazka, the Mountain Man versus the Tribe Man. Like, oh my goodness, this... I'm sorry to be freaking. This is one of the craziest things. Alex Potan, give him the heavyweight shot. How many times I gotta say it? This man went out there. Whenever the bell rings in certain fights with that last 10 seconds, you know something's about to happen. And it was one of those nights tonight where I'm like, oh, but I honestly thought Jiri was gonna land some. He looked like he was pressing. And this man, Alex Pereira, with the nastiest left hook, probably could have been called there, if we're being honest, before just murdering this man, Jiri Prochazka. Another Herb Dean, highlight reel on the bad side. But I mean, my goodness. And then I was ready to see how he comes off in the second round. I'm sorry, I want to show footage, but they kick me off YouTube for it if I do. But this man in the second round, I'm excited to see what he's about to do. I'm hyped to see, like, okay, you got Jiri on the ropes. I'm excited. Some people come in and rush. That's how you usually get checked. But for him to do a little quick switch kick to the high kick, just to check him, just to be like, okay, let's see if his arms are there, and to put him down like that. Herb Dean called the fight there. This man has already been concussed twice. You tried to pick him up after he just got finished even more. Another 2-3 concussions this man didn't need. And then we're sitting here trying to hold him up too early. Like, my goodness. Alex Pereira broke his toe off the man's face. How many times have you heard your dad say, I'm going to break my foot off in that booty? Like, I'm going to break it off your head or whatever. And they never actually do it. This man, Alex Pereira, probably literally just shattered this man's foot, or his foot off of Jiri Prochazka's head. Like, this man is a killer. Seriously, I never expected. I did videos talking about, okay, cool. They fast-tracked him because Israel Adesanya's success. He was running through the division. They needed help. They needed somebody to spark it up and give him to fight somebody. And he goes in there and does what he does. He gets on the fast track, gets kind of picked, a nice little, just to show off the striking to get there. And then 3 fights, he gets Izzy. And then he's getting beat, goes out there, finishes the dude. And yeah, Izzy got his lick back, but I mean, nobody after that, I'm doing videos. All right, guys, let's be honest here, though. He is an amazing kickboxer and everything, but MMA is something different. Don't let this man fight Magomed Ankalaev. Don't let him fight any of the 185ers that can make that night very boring, like Marvin Vettori and Roman Dolidze. Shouts out to him tonight. Like, those guys can make a fight very boring, and we're sitting here like, yeah, this man, 5 round, 3 round, just boring, snooze fest. Like, okay, we're done with him. But the way that they've controlled this man and helped him out and the way he's going out there, I believe he could beat any one of these guys. I was worried for Magomed Ankalaev there. I was worried. I'm thinking Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades, way too big. John Jones at this point in time, as much, I'm the biggest John Jones guy ever. And as much as I love him, like if he gets him on the ground, clearly it's over. But like, this man, John Jones, isn't John Jones who he used to be, at least in my opinion, where he's been out so long. I still think John Jones gets it done against Alex Pereira, but, I mean, that might be his most favorable matchup out there. I mean, Alex Pereira, this man going up against Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades right now, he's beating them. Like, I love Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall could probably do it. Curtis Blades can make it a boring night. I get it, but you're telling me Tom Aspinall, or this man Alex Pereira can't go do this? You really telling me he doesn't at least deserve to try? Hey, he's gotten this far for you guys. He saved the day how many times in his last 3 pay-per-views, doing it on, 2 weeks notice, which feels like an absolute, an 8-month training camp when you got Dan Ige stepping up in 3 hours, which the absolute balls on that man I want to talk about. But still, you're telling me Alex Pereira can't do this now? You got him build up. Let him go to heavyweight. If he finally gets just, dragged and, just ragdolled all night by, an Aspinall, a Jones, a Curtis Blades, anybody you throw him up there against. I mean, are we really that mad? Oh, dude, at least he tried. Holy shit, this man was a 185er. He went all the way up 205, ran it, beat everybody. Jan Blachowicz beat the triple-headed monster. Said, screw you, Jan. Screw you, Jamal. Screw you, Jiri twice. Like, this man's a killer. This man's a killer. Let him go up. If he gets exposed, he gets exposed to heavyweight. Cool. He tried to be this man, I can't get over it. I'm sorry to slurp him up. I just told you guys I'm going to be I just slurped him up already all week on my video talking about this is everything we love in a fighter. This is everything we want in your favorite fighter. And this man's damn doing it right now. His walkout might be the greatest walkout that we've seen. I mean, maybe ever. I mean, I'm not even kidding. There was a couple. My favorite, I always like John Jones, crawling into the cage, cool. You had DMX when you had Anderson Silva come out. You had certain theme songs. You had certain come out songs. You had it, but nothing like this man Poton coming out here and then his little step, and then screaming no other man could scream that loud. I mean, my goodness, this dude. And then for him and Jiri, I know I've said it already, but their face off. Oh my goodness, I didn't think they could do it again. But, oh my gosh, Jiri, I hate to see the interviews after this. If he thought the first time this man was using voodoo or whatever he was using before the fight, these these spells and stuff, it's going to happen. What's he going to say now? He's going to say, oh, he did it again. Or whatever. This man hooked him. What's next? Who do you throw him up against that heavyweight if he stays there? You guys tell me, Izzy comes up. Maybe cool, we can see the trilogy, but it doesn't seem like either of them guys want it right now. This, man, to save the card like this, I don't even know. If Conor McGregor goes out there and knocks out Michael Chandler, cool, blowing the roof off, for sure. Michael Chandler knocks out Conor, blowing the roof off. But what other fight right now, realistically, could we throw in there right now who saved the day? I feel like Max Holloway, if it was Max Holloway Chandler, I think we would have been equally as excited just because of Max, my guy. I've been excited forever. But after UFC 300 for the average folk, I mean, that fight, maybe if John Jones last second decides I'm gonna fight Tom Aspinall, yeah, we're all probably going pretty damn nuts. But realistically, this is the only fight. This was the only fight, and look what they did. I mean, on one of the most cursed nights that we've ever seen in MMA, where how many people backed out? Brian Ortega backed out 2 hours before the main event. If you guys started watching at the main event, I feel bad for y'all. Y'all probably wait, what? Dan Ige's fighting this man? I'm sitting there watching the early prelims and the prelims, and they start saying, oh, John Anik comes on and says it. I'm sitting there wait, what? There goes the night. I don't even want to watch tonight. But this man, Dan Ige, the sack on this man, I know Diego Lopez won. I'm proud of that man. He looked amazing tonight. To even stay in that fight, you got to praise him. But Dan Ige, to make your name like that, he's had some tough nights out there against Bryce Mitchell and stuff. You've seen him have some tough nights out there, some great nights. But he's probably going to be one of them guys after he retires, where he's just kind of one of the other guys in the middle of the pack that just gets lost. You might forget about him after a year or two, and you see him boxing or bare knuckling or something cool. But this man, legendary stuff, man. Legendary. 3 hours. I mean, this guy, Alex Pereira, I've already talked about how he's putting everybody to shame, stepping up, doing your favorite fighter dirty by stepping up and doing fights with broken toes and broken foot and all these things with no training camp, nothing, just stepping up with the belt. You already had Alex Pereira doing that, Jiri Prochazka doing that. But then you got this man, Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega coming in off of also the same time. You're shouting out these guys. You know, Anthony Smith, as much as I don't like Lionheart and as much as it was amazing to see him lose in the most boring fight in the world, you know, still, shouts out to these guys. But then you got Dan Ige, puts the whole roster to shame. I stepped in on 3 hours notice. I'm getting a massage. I have a fight here in a month. I could probably, right after that massage, I bet you that man was going to go eat some pizza or something. And look what this man does. Steps in. Sure, the first 2 rounds, he was getting his stuff, you know, pretty much handed to him. But then that third round, had Diego Lopez tired, was out there looking like he might have finished it. I mean, my goodness. Shouts out to you, man. You guys saved the card as well. If it wasn't for them two, we were looking at a boring, boring night. I don't even want to talk about Roman Dolidze, Anthony Smith. I don't even want to talk about Mario Bueno Silva and Macy Chazen or whatever. Yeah, that elbow was nasty. It was awesome. That blood was cool. I like that stuff. I don't get grossed out. I feel bad for Bueno Silva, but she seems to just always look like she's about to just pass out and just die after the first round. And I was over that fight. I mean, my God, Ian Garry, MVP. I was impressed by, you know, I guess I was impressed by MVP by the way that he really did go out there and make Ian Garry, you know, stunned. But like with this man, Ian Garry, this was his chance right here to get his name, you know, fully out of. You go out there and knock out MVP, nobody's talking about you anymore with all the weird stuff with your wife and all the stuff that people are talking about on these things and hating on him and all these backing out of the Colby Covington press conference. Like this was your chance to wipe all of that. This was your chance to go out there and just absolutely do it. And yeah, I know it's mixed martial arts, and this man used the mixed martial arts to get this dub tonight. You got to be happy for him. It was a great game plan. It was a great victory, but like the terrible thing, man, is the way he talks, man. That you're out here, you're trying to be Conor McGregor, Ian McGregor, you know, Garry out here. This man wants to always talk, say he's going to make him look bad, say he's the best striker, he's the fastest one, he's 11 years younger, he's the new generation of striking. And you go out there, did this man land anything? I'm being so serious right now. Like, did this man land anything tonight? Like, the takedown's awesome, you know, cool, did your thing. MVP looked like you know, he could have done more if we're really picking, but I mean, this man was ready for a brawl. You saw MVP was ready. And this man, Ian Garry, just every time he's got a chance here, he kind of just takes the easy win, but you can't be mad at because that's going to get you the dub. That's going to get you the health. You know, you're going to make your way up to a title shot. And then, you know, you could just ride an amazing career out of that. But the way that this man talks, he wants to be remembered like, you know, Conor McGregor. He wants to be remembered like Anderson Silva. You know, he'll be all these different people he talks about. And you go out there and do that. Like, seriously, it wasn't one time that I thought you were threatening at all to finish this fight outside of the rear naked choke in the beginning. But other than that, I mean, realistically, this man looked like he was more so hanging on. Even when MVP kind of fell on him at the end and like stuffed the one takedown and, you know, Ian Garry kind of fell over right in the beginning of the third round, like you could tell this man just locked up the body lock and was like, all right, I'm just sitting here. I'm just going to chill here. I won the first 2 rounds. There were no threats. MVP, you could tell that this man was trying. I mean, this man's 37, whatever you want to say about MVP. Did he try? Like, was it the greatest performance out of him tonight? No, not at all. But this man did come out to brawl. Like this man, Ian Garry, was saying like, hey, let's throw it. Let's see who's the best striker. And I don't know. I just don't think Ian Garry won any fans tonight. You know, you got the dub. Cool. You're going to get the championship, like I said. But this was his chance to clean the slate, man. And just goes out there and just, man. We'll see you next month against whoever the heck they're gonna throw up against you. And I don't know, man. It's just the way that he talks. I don't want to pick him apart because he's getting dubs out here, but I mean, outside of that, man, you know, we had some good fights. Cub Swanson and Andre Feely were going at it. Wasn't mad at that fight. Charles Jourdain got his booty whooped. I mean, there was a couple fights out there, you know, but for most part, I thought this was a tough fight card up until the co-main and main event. And luckily, at the end of the day, Alex Potan come out there, does his thing. And I'm just excited to see what's next with him. Dan Ige with the biggest balls we've ever seen. Shouts out to that, man. I mean, seriously, Diego Lopez deserves all the credit. I hope both of them get title fight, or not title fights, but fights at the Sphere. I'm excited for this, man. The UFC is buzzing right now, and shouts out to the UFC, man. You know, first of all, I had to match Bruce Buffer. I know that's 14 minutes in. You guys probably ain't even watching, but had to match Bruce Buffer out there with his suit. But when it comes to the UFC, the way that these matchmakers can just Brian Ortega's out of the fight to come in event, they're probably sitting there, to get Dan Ige to be able to replace 3 minutes. Not only Did we miss how many fights between what was it, Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill, and then it's Carlos Ulberg, and then it's Anthony Smith, and then it's all these damn different ones, and then to even keep that fight, to even get Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez on, like, there's just to keep that going, to get Alex Poton, like, to deal with Conor McGregor. If this was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they wouldn't be able to handle this. They'd probably cancel the whole event if Conor McGregor was out. And look at the power of the UFC now. And look, they got the biggest star in the world. Alex Poton Pereira is probably a bigger star right now than Conor McGregor. Yeah, I said it. So, I mean, my goodness. UFC 304 about to bang. UFC 305 about to bang. We got them coming, man. This is just an amazing time right now as an MMA fan. And shouts out to this man, Alex Poton. Come on, man. It's always your boy, Steven Moustaris, the MMA Short Show. Let's go, baby. Let's go.